Hello, everyone, and welcome to the September 13th, 2021 public steering meeting. As a general reminder, folks, these meetings are recorded and will be posted on the internet later today. So we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, which essentially boils down to please be excellent to each other. With that, we don't have too many things on the agenda today. I will kick things right off with an item I tossed on the list, and that was the renaming or the default branch for Kubernetes steering owned repos. So this is K-steering, K-funding. General action people, does anyone know of any dependencies on that one, or can I just pull the trigger and take care of it later today?
We have no automation. We don't have any GitHub actions, so we should just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any blockers.
Yeah.
Also, actually, one thing I should have mentioned earlier, if anyone is available to potentially take notes, that would be super helpful. Next item on the list, do we need an extension for elections? Christoph, did you put that one on there?
I did. That was me.
Yeah, okay. We did know that the steering election this time around was going to have to be adjusted at least a little bit with regard to, because like our normal time frame would have put it like smack dab in the middle of KubeCon. I think the actual process is the election committee has to propose a timeline, and then we act that one. I haven't talked to Josh. Alison, you're on the election.
Oh yeah, I'm on the line here. Yeah, I think my gut feelings is maybe push. I mean, we've got KubeCon coming up, and then steering election, and then just thinking about how all those things kind of fit all in. Like maybe we do need to ask for more time. I don't know. I'd like to hear steering committee thoughts on that one.
Do you need time? Yeah. Do you need time for coming up with the dates, or you're talking about the actual dates being different? You know, moved down.
I'll be honest. I need time to think about like the dates, and I think also that the dates might need to be a bit forward if we're like saying we're thinking about dates now and how the timeline with everything is.
Jordan?
I remember there was a thread to steering with the proposed election committee. Has that actually been acted? Like, are the people involved good to go, or are you still waiting on an answer from us?
I believe the people have been acted, and that part is good to go. It's just the next steps. I know that there is also an open, I think it's open still, an open PR with some details regarding the election. Yep, 12 days ago from Josh.
Yeah, linking those to the agenda would be helpful for people following breadcrumbs from the discussion.
So yeah, we've got the PR in where it's got the election officers, but yeah, from what Josh has left here, the election probably won't conclude until November.
Yeah, it looks like the start date was going to be on the 21st of at least for nominating candidates and being open through October 7th, so right before KubeCon. And then the actual vote would be open from the 9th to the 27th. If it's in the election description doc. Can I link directly to this? No, okay. So I guess, Alison, if you don't mind taking an AI to just follow up with the rest of the election committee and see if, these dates are the ones that you do want to propose and go with, and then we can act on it either, preferred either through email on the steering public list or like comment on the PR. Does that make sense for folks?
Yeah, and in terms of timelines, it seems like any delay would push this out even further. So
yeah,
getting both the election committee opinion on the dates and our ACT on it this week seems important.
Yeah, I'll look back with the election committee. I'll try to get that closed out within the early half of this week.
and for the rest of steering, if possible, at least take a look at that PR for any other potential comments on there. I left one on there. Any other questions, comments, thoughts regarding the election at this point in time?
Sounds like we might need a bump in our effective date. Oh, Jordan, sorry, I didn't see your hand.
No, that's stale. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Paris?
I was gonna say, it sounds like we might need like a November 1 and bump on our extension for our effective dates, because right now it's like, I think like technically October 7th or something. It shows October 2021 on the README, but I think if we go according to like SIG's YAML history or something, it's like October 7th. But
we might want to adjust it anyway, because from what I understand, KubeCon's date change shifting earlier is going to be a permanent change.
All right, so we might want to just bump it to November 1 or something like that then.
Yeah. So I guess that might be another follow-up item for us. Any other remaining comments, questions regarding the election? Okay. Paris, you have the next one.
It's more of like an FYI than anything. I don't really have anything to show right now. But I did start a doc that I don't want to share. It's too rough right now. I'm just kind of pitter-pattering along. But it's on sort of a sustainability plan for testing docs, Contribex, and other support that we can take to the governing board. This is sort of out of the box stuff that we haven't talked about before, like the idea of creating some kind of center of excellence inside of CNCF, whatever. I think there's like 4 ideas on there right now that I'm fleshing out. I gave the chairs a heads up in the last chairs and tech leads meeting that this was happening. Bob did that for me. Thank you, Bob. So a couple people know that, the ideas are sort of swirling around. I told chairs to like think big, and also collect any areas that they know need support, especially if there's only one active individual in that, so that we can start to collect like where we might need contractors, if that's a thing. Again, if that's a thing. And then also sort of a leg off of that, there's already been talk at CNCF level from Lucas and other people within the cloud native community with other projects who are very interested in staffing things like GoYAML and JSON Iterator and things that only have one active maintainer right now, but affect multiple projects within the community, not just Kubernetes. More discussion will be had with individual chairs and maintainers in those areas, including DIMS, and DIMS's hand just went up. So we'll get sort of a plan together and present it. DIMS.
Yeah, so I forwarded the thread that was floating around to steering private for everybody here to take a look. Thanks, Paris, for doing this. I wanted to address specifically the questions from Lucas about some parts of the parser that is more forgiving than it should be, kind of thing. We might end up fixing those kinds of things, but we might not be able to adopt it in Kubernetes because that might be a backward incompatible change for us. So yes, it's a good idea in general. Yes, we need to fund some of these single person or smaller repositories, and maybe even take over some of them and adopt them internally, similar to what we've done before. Yes, +1 to getting some contractor help, but then in the end, the respective SIGs like AP Missionary should be the ones that will make the decision of whether that's an acceptable change or not. So that point was kind of missed in Lucas's thread, and I didn't want to bring it up there because that would have been counterproductive to the larger argument that we were trying to make there.
Yeah, and I'll work with you too, Dims, on some stuff this week. And that's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do a lot of due diligence and talk to people and see what's up. And I did talk to, I think, almost the whole customized crew now about GoYAML. So I have their thoughts there. But yeah, no, anyway, TLDR, I asked the chairs if, and through Bob, if like there are any other areas like that, whether it's dependencies, whether it's sub projects, whatever, where it's like, wow, there really is only one person here. So that's at the chair level right now. And that's kind of all I wanted to say about that. If
there wasn't too much from the chair meeting this last week, just because like it was also enhancements freeze. So only a couple people actually showed up. It might be worth starting a separate thread in Slack.
100%. Yep.
The one thing that did come up specifically regarding the dependency stuff is for us as Kubernetes, potentially developing a process on how these things should be approached. The general thought was that this should be turfed to SIG Arch and specifically the code organization subproject. Essentially, if we are going to fork and maintain something, or look to maybe it gets punted over the CNCF or whatever group. But as we are developing this, we should have our own internal process for this. And another example that was mentioned was the KYAML, the customized internal fork. Yep. And then the recent thing there's an issue open in K-org regarding importing forking a repo that we would maintain for another dependency.
Yeah, I think that's a good discussion for like SIG Arch for like the policy around dependencies and forking, and whether to take on new dependencies that exchange like a standard library package for some third-party thing. That seems like a good place to have that. API Machinery happens to own most of the libraries that I'm aware of that are sort of these like low-level serialization libraries. So API Machinery and architecture would probably be the two most interested SIGs. But we need to have that conversation because a lot of things that got switched around 4 or 5 years ago for performance reasons now are long in the tooth and not maintained and are kind of scary.
Yeah, we worked through some of them already, but there's a lot more left on the plate. Yeah.
I can add that to the SIG architecture agenda and bring that up there.
Cool. This is the second chair and tail meeting is tomorrow, so there might be more comments and thoughts on it after that, by the way.
Paris, did you say that you wanted to talk later this week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll DM you.
Are there any other thoughts, questions, comments regarding sustainability? What sustainability suggestions to bring up?
My big one has always been, well, recently is SIG testing for sure.
Yeah.
In addition to SIG docs, which we might have turned the corner there.
Okay. Well, are there any other items that people would like to talk about today that are not currently on the agenda?
Yes, I wanted to check with Ihor on the cloud credits program and how far it has come. I know there were some reviews going on.
Yeah, so actually it's Hippie Hacker who is working on it. So it's in progress. I believe that we should have more details of it next month. I don't have like the current status is that Hippie Hacker is working on a draft document, and I believe it's like on a final stage. It has to be reviewed by Priyanka specifically, and Priyanka is actually out of office this week, and I believe the next week as well. So yeah, that's the status. So we're working on this, and yeah, we'll definitely keep you posted on this.
So at some point, Ihor, when Priyanka has taken a look, could you please give us a heads up on steering private before it goes public?
Yeah, sure. I'll let Hippie Harker know about this. So just to make sure that it will happen this way.
Paris?
I wanted to get selfish and ask for a session. Could like we have Hippie Hacker and CNCF folks like have a session with steering?
Schedule a meeting?
Yeah, could we like talk about it and ask questions and like...
Yeah. I am 100% on board with that idea because there are some one big glaring issue on at least on the current proposal that I see as a hard blocker.
I would love to do that before it goes public.
Yeah, a rope in the TOC too.
Yeah,
yeah.
The TOC would be great.
Yeah, yeah, I'll flag this to Hippie Hacker. Like no worries. So I'm happy to jump on a call with you. Like I'm myself and he and probably some other folks from his team. So we're happy to jump on a call and discuss some stuff. If you have any questions right now, I can probably try to answer them or pass them also to our working document. So if you have any questions or concerns, so I can put it.
Some of us have seen the document, Ihor, others haven't. So I want everybody to be on the same page before we ask questions. Otherwise, it would be fair.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, that's one of the main reasons I want to have the meeting is I just want everyone to have the same chance and opportunity to ask questions and dig into it.
Got it. Yeah, not a problem at all. So I'll work with Hippie Hacker. I'm more like myself. I'm more acting as a reviewer on the document on this program based on my experience of setting up the cloud provider credits in the past for Kubernetes and other projects. But he's a person and his team are actually working on the program itself. So happy to work together internally and to schedule something for us all.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Are there any other items that are not currently on the agenda that folks would like to talk about?
Lots of community folks here. Community folks. Does this mean you're all running for steering? Would you like a task? No, we're just kidding.
Well, we would like you to all run for.
Yeah. Anyone need a task with training wheels? Hey.
Okay.
Bob.
Yep. That's it. Nice and short for today. Thank you everyone for coming by, and I will see you around the internet.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Y'all.
Bye.